Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the SCU show. I'm your host SCU, episode number 38, and we got a lot of good stuff for you this week. I know, we're talking about the coronavirus and how there's not a lot of topics. I got a whole bunch of topics that I'm just saving for shows. I'm show for different shows. I'm not trying to put it all in one show. I want to spread it out. So we have more shows. We have more things to talk about when it comes to sports. And today we're talking about Lamar Jackson against Patrick Mahomes, because I saw something very interesting on Twitter the other day, and people started freaking out about it. Bleacher Report put out a thing. They polled their 7 NFL staffers. Who would they rather have on their team, Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? And Mahomes won the vote by a vote of 4-3. Either way, and of course, like I said, Twitter went crazy. I think either way, they're about the same. They equal each other out in a way. Lamar Jackson is the better regular season quarterback. Lamar Jackson's the better regular season quarterback. He has the better roster, the better team, the better division to play in. When you look at the AFC North, he can run that for the next 5-6 years. He can run that division the way it is right now. The Steelers, and everybody loves the Steelers, and they're historic franchise, but Big Ben's 38 years old. How much longer is he going to actually be there? They don't have a top receiver. No, Juju Smith-Schuster's not a top receiver. James Washington not really a top receiver as of right now. They don't have a top running game. James Conner. What is he? What has he proven? Not much. They don't have a great team. They have a pretty good defense, one of the top 15 defenses. But other than that, they don't have much. The Bengals are the Bengals. Zach Taylor's their coach. He's never been a head coach before, and now he's running this dysfunctional franchise that has won a playoff game in about 30 years now. Plus, they have Joe Burrow, who I think everybody's talking about how great he is. I'm not in that boat right now. I don't think Joe Burrow's as good as everyone thinks. And we're going to see that this year, his rookie year. Maybe year 2. And the Browns, everybody's talking about the Browns. I said it last week, or a few weeks ago. The Browns are going to be a very big disappointment. And, that's what it's going to be. So Lamar Jackson should be running through the AFC North. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes has the AFC West. They have Drew Lock. Everybody's buying Drew Lock. I'm buying into Drew Lock. They just got Jerry Jeudy. They got his former tight end from Missouri. They have Cortland Sutton. They have all these pieces, especially on defense. Bradley Chubb's coming back after missing most of the last year with the torn ACL. Von Miller's coming back. They got A.J. Boye in free agency. It's going to be a very talented team down there in Denver. The Raiders are looking good. They have the most interesting quarterback competition. Either way, whoever the quarterback is, they'll be a very talented team. So I don't think it really matters there. And then, of course, you have the Chargers. Look at the Chargers. Well, look what the Chargers have. They have Justin Herbert. They just drafted him. He's going to be the future of the franchise. They have Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler's their back. One of the best versatile backs in the league. Up there with about James White level. They have Kenneth Murray, one of the best linebackers in the draft. They got a very talented team over there in L.A. So, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, he's going to win the division. Most likely he's going to win 11 games a year. But Lamar Jackson's going to win 13 games a year. He's going to throw 40 touchdowns a year. He's going to have all this, he's going to win the division every year. And like 14 wins. And then Mahomes is going to win with 11 wins. So Lamar Jackson is the better regular season quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes is the better postseason quarterback. Mahomes is going to win more Super Bowls. Mahomes is going to win more matchups in the postseason against Jackson. That's just how the cookie's going to crumble. So I don't like the fact that people are going crazy. Oh, Lamar's better than Mahomes, and Mahomes is better than Lamar. They're the same guy. They cancel each other out, respectively. Because Lamar's the better regular season quarterback, Mahomes the better postseason quarterback. Now I think Lamar might win a few Super Bowls here and there. He might get it's kind of like Brady Manning, or Manning beat out Brady eventually in the AFC title game twice to get to the Super Bowls. And I think it'd be the same with Lamar beating out Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl. But in the end of the day, Mahomes is going to have more Super Bowl rings than Lamar would at the end of their careers. But you say that one is better than the other, it's just not true. They're both pretty much the same, and they cancel each other out. So there's that. It was a nice poll. Bleacher Report did a very interesting thing. 4-3 was the vote, and people are going crazy. Oh, hey, what are they doing? They don't know what they're talking about. They know exactly what they're talking about, and I'm glad it went the way it went. Because at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is going to win more Super Bowls. Alright, let's get to this. I am no longer a Cowboys fan. If you watch the show, you know this. You listen to the show. You know this. I'm no longer a Cowboys fan, but this is interesting. And I actually had to bump some topics that I wanted to talk about this. Dak Prescott wants a big, big deal. He wants $45 million at the end of a 5-year deal, and the Cowboys didn't offer him that. They offered him a 5-year deal for $175 million. And reportedly, according to Chris Sims of NBC Sports for Football Talk, he turned it down. He turned down $175 million. That's insane. That is nuts. Because I don't think Dak deserves has earned that deal. I don't like the word deserves. Nobody deserves anything in life. You have to earn things in life. And so I do my SCU show. That's why I shoot stories. That's why I do play-by-play, because I don't have to earn anything in life. I'm working on that. Same with Dak here, anyway. His best year was last year. Okay, he had a great year last year. Almost 5,000 yards, 49.02, and 30 touchdowns. Great year for him. He had a nice year. Cowboys finished 8-8. Missed the playoffs, unfortunately. That's one of the problems. The other problem is the Eagles, who has Popeye's employees as the receivers last year, win the division. And the thing was, the Cowboys at one point were ready to go about 7-2. They were like 6-2 at one point last year. And they just had the NFC East was theirs. They were like 2 wins away from really just pulling away from the Eagles. And I was like, every week, week in and week out, the Eagles lost, the Cowboys won. Okay, fine. And then it would switch. Oh, the Eagles won, the Cowboys lost. And then the Eagles would creep closer every week until week 17, when it was the Eagles win, then they're in. And that was what happened. The Eagles beat the Giants, they won the division. Because the Cowboys screwed it up. Because Dak Prescott, he had some games where he didn't do his best. But anyway, so there's that. Not to mention that he only went over 100 passer rating once in his career. Dak Prescott, his rookie season, that was it. 100 passer rating one time in 4 years. 4 years, one playoff win. Now, I don't want to hear anything about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has won nothing. He has 48 career fumbles, blah, blah, blah. But we're talking about Dak here. Dak has yet to earn it. He's close. I really think he's close to earning or deserving that big contract. But right now, he has to prove something still. As crazy as it sounds, 2 division titles. What else does he need to prove? He needs to prove that he can be better. He can get to 5,000 yards. He can limit the turnovers. Kind of like Cam Newton. Cam Newton has something to prove as well. Dak Prescott has something to prove. Jerry Jones is putting money out for what? Of course, Dak has turned it down, but I think this is it for him. I think Dak this year needs to play under the franchise tag. Just play under it. You have CeeDee Lamb. You have Zeke. You have an offensive line. Pretty good offensive line. You have good defense. You fix your secondary a little bit. You have CeeDee Lamb. Just play this year. Kick ass. Win the division, which I think the Cowboys will win the division with Mike McCarthy. And then we could talk about money, Dak. Then we could talk about money. Not now. Alright, so here's another interesting thing. Switching to college football. It's been a while since we talked some college. Well, last week we talked a lot of college football. But here's something else that I thought was very interesting. There was a point where the SEC was to be the only conference that was going to play. Like, they were saying, we don't care. We'll play by ourselves. We don't need anybody else to play. We have all these teams. We can just play by ourselves in the fall. We don't care. Okay. So I looked at it. And I was like, what if the SEC... By the way, it's not going to happen. There will be college football this year. But I was just thinking, for fun. If the SEC was their own thing, who would play in a 4-team All-SEC playoff? How would that match up? Well, here's your bracket right here. Bama versus LSU will be the first game. That would be interesting, wouldn't it be? Coach Nick Saban. We don't know who the quarterback is, but they do have a very talented team out there still. We always have a talented defense under Nick Saban. Najee Harris, their running back, versatile running back. He's going to be a top 10 pick next year's draft. And who knows who the quarterback is, by the way? Alabama quarterbacks have had nothing but success during Nick Saban's run since 2007, so I wouldn't even put it behind him. Anybody could be the next good quarterback in Alabama. And then you'll have against LSU, Orgeron. They have Jamar Chase, is going to be one of the top receivers in next year's draft. They have talented defense. They'll bring back a talented running back. I don't know who the next running back will be, but he'll be talented, I'm sure. It's a talented LSU team. They're going to get to they would get to the playoff. They play Alabama. On the other side, one of the best college football rivalries out there, I have Florida and Georgia. Now, Florida lost Felipe Franks. We'll get to that at the end of the show. But they have Kyle Trask, who took over last year and led them to an honorable victory. And they also have Emory Jones, who looks like he's going to be one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football if he ever gets that chance. He might transfer, he might play in Florida, who knows. By the way, Florida is good at quarterback without Felipe Franks. And they're going to be a really talented team out there in the SEC, just like they were last year. And I think if they were to play in the 4-team All-SEC playoff, they would be in it. As for Georgia, yes, they lost Jake Fromm, but they have they have Kirby Smart, and they just got a transfer, Jamie Newman, from Wake Forest. What a talent that guy is. He's a very versatile guy. He can use it with his arms and his legs. Again, I say it all the time. That's the future of quarterbacks, college football and in the NFL. So I think with that team that he'll have around him, Jamie Newman coming in, Kirby Smart, your coach, Georgia, no problem, would be in an All-SEC playoff. But who would advance to the All-SEC's national championship? Why, none other than Alabama and Georgia, of course. LSU has lost a big piece in Joe Burrow, and they lost a big piece in Justin Jefferson, and Alabama is just going to be too good for LSU in order to run. Meanwhile, I don't trust Florida as much as I could throw them. I would pick Georgia over them in a heartbeat. Although I think that would be a closer game than the Alabama-LSU game. So you have Alabama and Georgia, and in the end, I would take Alabama over Georgia to win an All-SEC national championship game in 2021. So that was just for fun. That was fun, right? I thought that was cool. Alright, here we go. Big rant. Short show this week, but an epic rant coming to you right now. I was looking to see where JT Daniels, the USC quarterback, might be transferring to, because last year he got hurt early in the year, and he was pretty much out for the year. And I was looking, I was like, has he decided where he's going to transfer to next? Unfortunately, he hasn't. And by the way, the article I read was from Bleacher Report. Not Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated. I read this article, and I was looking at who else might have transferred. Now, Jamie Newman went to Georgia from Wake Forest. Yeah, that's going to be good. That'll be interesting. I'd like to see that. Oh, what? Wait. Felipe Franks transferred to Arkansas? You kidding me? Seriously? He transferred to Arkansas? And I swear, I flipped my lid from this. Because it made absolutely no sense to me. Because when Florida, he was going to, this coming season, he was going to be a Heisman candidate. You realize that Felipe Franks is such a talented quarterback? He was going to be up there. And he was going to be, I don't know where the Heisman trophy presentation would be this year, but he would be up there. He would be in the talks all season long if he'd stayed at Florida. He was going, I know Kyle Trask had a good year, but Felipe Franks was going to win that job. And Felipe Franks would have had a Heisman season. His draft stock would have been way up. He would have gone, maybe late first, early second round. And now he goes to an Arkansas program who's won, 10 games in the last, they won 10 games in the last 3 years. Florida won 11 all last year. I understand that Felipe Franks wasn't there, but Felipe Franks, what are you doing, man? Are you serious? That just really threw me off so much. I was so like, what the heck? Are you kidding me? I was absolutely thrown off. I didn't understand why he went to Arkansas. Now, I'm not trying to bash the guy for doing what he wanted to do. That's fine. I don't know why he did it, but he did it anyway. But now he's going to have a crapshoot season. He's going to win 2 games this year at Arkansas. And he's going to, it's just going to be a really crappy season for him. And his draft stock's going to absolutely fall. He's going to be a 4th, 5th round quarterback, maybe 6th round quarterback now. All because he decided to go from Florida, who's like way up here, to Arkansas, who's about down here. I don't understand it. Obviously, he made the choice for himself, whatever the case is. But it's, whatever. That's fine. Do what you want. Good luck to you. Godspeed. I still don't understand it, Felipe. Maybe we'll talk about it. You and I could talk about it. I'm on Twitter at FriendFanatic too, man. Let me know. I don't get it. I just really do not get it. And with that, we are done on this short episode. Again, I'm trying to spread out my content because, you never know when. We'll talk more NBA in a couple weeks. We got some big stuff coming. But that's it for this episode. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. This has been another episode of the SCU Show.